Yes, yes, y'all. Welcome to office hours. Welcome, welcome. Welcome. What's up, Kai? Nice. Providence. Awesome. You're just going to ask questions here in the comments, or I'm going to put in a link where you can join me on camera if you'd like as well. If it's a more complicated question or something that needs a little more context, all that good stuff. Okay. What is up, Kai? Oshawa, Ontario. Wow, cool. Welcome. Bart. Welcome. There you go. Bart's from Rome, Italy. Awesome. Michael, greetings from Northern Nevada. Awesome. This is my favorite part of the week. I love it. Awesome. Awesome. Welcome. Person waving. There you go. Awesome. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to Office Hours. Happy Friday. Happy Veterans Day weekend for our veterans in the house here in the United States. We appreciate you. And this is Office Hours. Office Hours is no agenda other than to try and answer your questions or help you in any way that I can. So just fire those questions into the comments. I will also put a link here for anybody who wants to come on camera with me and have a discussion as well. And we will have a little chat. Dorn, Marine Corps birthday. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Awesome. Welcome. Cerise, is that how I say your name? That's cool. Welcome. Rock Hill, South Carolina. La Quinta. Awesome, Jeff. Good to see you. Central Utah. Love it. Awesome. Howdy from Australia. Awesome. Love it, Grant. Welcome. All right. I see Kai in the background. I see Daniel in the background. Look at this. My two hoodie fellas. They both got hoodies on. They're like gangsters back there. Leah, welcome. Awesome. All right. I'm going to go. There's a couple questions I see up top here. Actually, the first question I see is from Kai. So I'm going to go ahead and bring you on camera. Kai, you ready? Awesome.
Yo, what's up, dude? Hey, sorry, man. I got COVID, dude. So I just like literally set my alarm for like 5 minutes before your office hours. I was like, I gotta get on this and ask some questions.
No problem. I'm glad you could be here. I'm glad you're feeling well enough to be here. I'm just getting done. I'm on like day 9 of a nasty respiratory thing myself, and I'm finally today feeling like a little bit human again. So I get you.
Yeah, brutal, dude. Yeah, I literally set an alarm for like 1 minute before your office hours. I was like, I gotta get on and just talk to him for a minute.
How can I help you, sir?
Sweet, dude. Yeah, so I got a couple questions written down. Number one, dude. And by the way, for anyone watching, literally, I've probably watched over 150 hours of content on SaaS and like how to like sell this stuff.
Oh, wow.
Dude, by far your day 1 to day 5 surge to SaaS is the most valuable content anyone can literally find on YouTube as far as like this whole system goes. Dude,
awesome.
it's crazy.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was awesome to watch. I literally, like, my buddies who are trying to do this, I'm like, dude, drop everything else you're doing and go watch these 5 trainings. You'll have everything you need, you know?
That's awesome, man. I appreciate it. Thank you for saying so. It's very kind of you.
Yeah, dude. So the first thing, biggest question, I literally saw on one of those trainings, you said you signed up 300, you onboarded 300 web clients in a month. Dude, how did you do that? That's insane.
It was insane. I mean, I don't recommend it to anybody. It's one of those, I mean, you know, to be perfectly honest, it's one of those figures that I put out there for the marketing attention. It's not something that I would recommend to anybody. It's not something that I would necessarily do again if I had the ability to. If I was rolling out a promotion like that again, I would definitely roll it out in a little bit more of a metered fashion because I grossly underestimated the response. And it damn near buried us. So fortunately at that time I had enough resources that what I did was I literally just hired people and stuffed them in a room fast. And I said, look, we gotta, and at the time think, you know, no HighLevel. So it was all just WordPress websites. And there was trying to remember the name of the tool that you could use to kind of, you know, pretty easily copy a WordPress site, you know, fast and stuff like that. And so we literally, I think it was 9 people stuffed into this room, like 12-hour days, and I was just like, gang, just crank out websites. And then
Jeez.
but it was awesome too, because when something like that happens, obviously it makes you like really think through, okay, how do we do this? And so what we did was we said, okay, in order to get these things live fast, we have to have a way of getting the information that we need from the customer and putting that on them so that it's a scalable process. So we created surveys, and in those surveys, it was just like basic things like but the information that we need. What phone number do you want on your website? What help email do you want on your website? Your contact email, like all that type of stuff. And so they had to fill out that survey, and then we just had a little automated sequence that, hey, we haven't got your survey back yet. We haven't got your survey back yet. So that took some of the pressure off of us and gave us like a structured process for, okay, the information came in, now we can create the site. The information came in, now we can create the site. And then we did a very similar process for, okay, the first version of the website is created. You get 2 rounds of revisions at no cost. Here's what's included in those revisions is you can tell us you want a different color on the background here, but you can't tell us you want us to customize the edges and make them, round, because that's actually hard versus sticking within the exact theme that we have, but replace the image, replace the background color. We can do that. Replace the copy on this page. We can do that, right? So anytime you're doing productized services, which is what we're all trying to do here, or should be trying to do here, boundaries are incredibly important. And articulating those boundaries just as clearly as possible so that your customers know, okay, when I get that website, I can't tell them I just want something totally different. I've got to work within some parameters. And so it forced us to define those things very quickly and on the fly. And of course, we screwed up and made changes and screwed up and made changes. And when you do 300 of them that fast, you figure it out, pretty darn quickly. But it was a total scramble. But it turned out to be one of the best things that happened to us as well, because it proved to us, okay, we can do this even without the high levels at the time. Even if we just like focus on just cobbling together a process with as much automation and smarts as we can get through it. And so that was what we did.
Dude, that's insane. That's funny you just said that, because that's literally what I do. Like I just onboarded. I got 5 clients in a day from cold calling last week, and I was like, oh shit, like I've never had this many at a time.
That's awesome, man. Good for you.
Yeah. So I'm just doing the 197 a month right now.
Awesome.
Just too much slow, but I just made a form on Go High Level, and I was like, all right, you guys fill out this form with literally everything I need, send it back to me, and then that's when I start. And that was able to like kind of chop out the process a little bit, because they're contractors, so they're slow as hell to like fill that stuff out.
And what you'll find, and this is really important, if you go through the onboarding training, I talk about this. What you'll find is that when you put it on them, you're going to find a lot of people that don't do anything. And then so then that puts your sale in jeopardy. And so you've got to really aggressively, you've got to follow up with them and like re-close them. Like, hey guys, come on, we got to get your information back. And sometimes literally what you do is you got to get on the phone with them, do a screen share, and literally pull up the form and go, look, we're just gonna fill this out right now and get your website going, get your thing set up, so that way you don't kill the sale. And so you just sit there with them and just fill out as much as you can and go, great, we're gonna get this sucker built for you. Like you just got to take control. You
don't think if they give you their money, they're like more committed to actually doing the form?
They are, but at 197 a month, people will still be. I mean, do you know how many people have signed up for whatever from me and then never gone through the course? And I'm guilty of that too. I have I have a course that I paid, just in the last couple of months, I paid, $1,000 for it, and I'm still maybe 10% of the way through it, just because it's not that big of an urgent priority for me. And, so I'll get to it when I get to it. And that's what happens with a lot of people.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. And then like, I guess that kind of like segues similar, like into my next question, which is like what was the process you went through to actually get those 300 clients? Like what I was thinking of doing, because I've taken a lot of your advice and I've structured from our last couple of calls, and it's really been helpful, but I don't want to keep cold calling, and I have the money to run ads. Yeah. So I'm wondering, like, how do I structure myself in the marketplace? Do I structure myself as a lead gen agency? Because literally what I'm doing, the same way you say in all your trainings, take a system, systematize it, control copy it into their sub accounts, right? So it's chat widget, missed call text back, a couple email campaigns, a website, Literally there's like 6 features, right? And I have a product management software, but it's literally like you say in the trainings, like create a system so you can drag and drop 90% of it and you customize 10% of it.
Yeah.
So how do I sell that? I have the money, I have the budget. How do I sell that? How do I position myself in the paid ads marketplace? I guess is my question for you.
So I personally think that the best positioning that you can have in this marketplace is that you are a provider of marketing systems. Okay. So, and marketing systems that get X done for your customers, right? So the reason why I say that is, one, because it sells then the prospect on, well, what do you mean you're a provider of marketing systems? And then you have the opportunity to say, hey, you've probably invested in advertising before. Yes, I have. And how did it work out for you? Well, it was kind of hit or miss, blah, blah, blah. Well, the reason it's hit or miss, it could have been the advertising, but honestly, advertising is not that complicated. It's probably that you did not have the proper marketing systems in place to then take advantage of the activity and interest that the advertising created. So if you don't follow up on those leads properly with all the touches that you need and all that type of stuff, and you don't nurture them over time, any advertising investment is probably going to look like a failure, right? So now you're establishing this understanding of systems. Now, I stress that does not mean that every message that you're putting out into the marketplace has to just be, we're a provider of systems, right? So what I like to think about is, when somebody comes to my homepage on my site, what's the core message that I want them to get? The core message is that we're a provider of marketing systems that help small businesses grow, and grow their profitability, right? So, but that doesn't mean that every message that I'm putting out into the universe is that message, because it's not the most direct response, sexy message. So I like to have the balance of substance, and also have, you got to have those hooks out there that are a little more sexy as well. So to me personally, I would recommend that your core message is around systems, but that when you are putting your pitch out into the marketplace, you use a variety of pitches, and one of them, it sounds like, can be, we provide, you could either say, we help you generate more leads, we help you, we are a provider of lead generation, campaigns and management. That's my least favorite. We are a provider of lead generation systems for X that get these results, right? So lead generation systems for chiropractors that get consistent leads at, lower price than, typical ad management services, something like that. So you can put hooks out there that are more sexy and more direct to the benefit that they're going to get. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was a little confused. So you just said that last part, 100%. So it's like
Okay.
you could say something and put a hook out there, like basically, we get you lead. We something about like, we'll get you 10 leads in X amount of time, blah blah blah. Without, I was thinking you add the tagline inside the ad creative of, without running paid ads or without any ad budget or something in there, like inside the, just so they know that, just so they know it's like not just another company running ads for them.
And so you are is the way that you're doing it, they're paying you a flat fee, or they're paying you per lead or something like that? Is that what you're saying?
Um,
Well,
so
I
sorry, you
guess
mean,
I'm curious when you say without the ad budget part.
well, because like, because it's a weird thing, because I'm not running any ads for my clients, right? So that's why it's always confusing me, because a lot of the time I see people saying like, oh, dude, just run ads for contractors, say we'll get you 10 leads in 30 days or you don't pay. Like, that's a super
Got it.
popular one, right?
Got it. Got
But
it.
it's like, I don't know, that's not what I'm doing. I'm more like, I'm putting these systems in place for a long-term lead generation system for
Correct.
contractors. So it's
Correct.
like, I have the money to run the ads. I just don't know how I should position the ads. And like what you said kind of makes sense, but it's like,
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm confused about what should be that initial hook. I just need to get them on the call, right? So
Yeah.
that's, I've been on 14 calls and I've closed 13 of them, right? So it's like, I just need to get them on the
Well, then
call.
it sounds like things are going just fine. Yeah. So
But dude, I need more. I need to like get more people like on the call, because the no show rate, as you know, with contractors probably is just horrendous.
yeah. Yeah. For sure. Oh gosh, for sure. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I think that the pitch that you're making can still be all about get more leads, get leads cheaper, get better quality leads, like, because that's what your systems do. So that's the end benefit that the customer is looking for. Your pitch can still be all about that and those benefits. And then when you get them on the phone, then you're explaining, well, here's the unique way that we do it that's different from these other people that you've probably heard from or dealt with.
Got it. So you hit them with that hook. That's like the hook that everyone's using. Get more leads, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then once you get them on the call, I can get my ability to explain to them and sell them.
Totally. You're not gonna explain to those guys in your content, in your ad, like that's too much. I mean, maybe at a retargeting level when somebody's like already, been a little bit down the rabbit hole with you, you can use some of that content to reinforce the message and clarify the message to them. But in that initial ad, it just needs to be all about the hook. It needs to be all about the benefit.
Okay, that's super helpful because I was going back and forth on that because like I've been arguing with my lead gen agency like the last week, being like, I don't know about this because like this isn't. I don't want to like lie and because that's not exactly what I do. But I understand what you're saying. It's the hook to get them on the call to be able to explain what we do.
Yeah, and that's what the systems do, right? I mean, just because you're not actually managing the ads for them, but I mean, or you're not, they're spending the budget themselves rather than spending it with an agency. It's still the ultimate benefit is I'm getting leads and I'm getting them more cheaply and with an effective system, more qualified leads, right? So,
gotcha. 100%, dude. That's so helpful. Yeah, I appreciate it. And my last question would be like, if you were gonna do this over again and you weren't Mike Cooch, you didn't have like all the clout that you got and like your all your experience, would you run and you were just doing SaaS for $197 to $297 a month? You had the money, and would you run ads to your SaaS? I know you're gonna say make content, but besides make content, what would you do?
No, I would run ads that are focused on the benefit of the service and the benefit of the systems, and then I would have content, but I would have a sales process, and this is look, the market is always evolving and changing, right? And so HighLevel is getting better and better and better, more easy to use, more refined, and it's 6 months from now, my position on this could totally change in that you could drive somebody right into the SaaS or right into at least like an entry point in the SaaS where it's super easy for them to get up and running and get benefit from it. And then I'll tell you all day long, do that. And I know that HighLevel is working on that because I've sat and had conversations with Sean where I've said, Sean, what we need is these easy foot in the door offers like HubSpot has. HubSpot has all these free things that you can start using HubSpot and start using just a very slim set of features that are very easy to get started with and see some benefit, right? And so I know Sean is working like crazy on that. He gets it. So 6 months from now, when we have that, I'll tell you, yes, be driving people right to that. Until then, the software is too complicated. It's too hard to use. A small business is not, a contractor is not going to see your SaaS and even understand what the heck, like what is all of this, right? So you need to keep it as simple as possible to get them into seeing the benefit. And so in that industry in particular, it's going to be a conversation. Like, you're going to get on the phone with somebody and it's going to be like, hey, this is what I can do for you. And this is how it's going to, be good for your business and save you some money. Let's get going. Okay. Yeah. Let's give it a shot. Yeah. Right. And then it's up to you to put whatever things in place that you're then going to be able to show them the benefit. Hey, here's this awesome lead gen campaign. Here's this awesome follow-up sequence. All we got to do is turn it on and now it's running for you. Right. Gotcha. So I think you're going to continue to drive them into a sales process that's like that for now. And 6 months from now, we could be having a totally different conversation.
Yeah. Dude, it was so crazy, man. I had my first like actual sales call yesterday where I had actually watched all your SaaS to Search videos. Yeah. Dude, I just did that and I was just like, that was so much more fire than every other sale I ever did. I felt like I was just hitting every single point. Even at the end, I remember you said something about make sure the customer knows, like, dude, I'm always looking to improve my system. So if you have any feedback or like letting them know it's an ever evolving like system that they'll keep getting the benefits from. And when I said that, the guy was like, dude, he was just like, he was so psyched. I was like, yeah, awesome. Dude, that's Mike Cooch training, baby. Let's go.
I love it. I love it.
Sweet, dude. Sweet. All right, nice, man. shameless plug for you, dude. What do you think? I was a little confused. I want to get one of your courses, and dude, like, I just wish I could be your affiliate. I can't switch, which
Oh
is
yeah,
super
no,
shitty.
it's all good. Yeah.
But as far as like getting one of your courses, I was a little confused because I know you talked about MSVP, but then there was another one. But I feel like I'm a little bit beyond. There was one for like what 297, and then there's one for like 2500. So I'm wondering, like, in my position, like, what do you think would be the best course for me to buy from you?
High leverage agency for sure. And that's you could be looking at the same thing. It's 297 a month or 2500 for the year. High leverage agency.
Okay.
If you go to
Nice, yeah.
services that here, I can put in the banner services that scale.com/HLA. So
Okay.
nice and easy.
Yeah. And then that's more, yeah.
It's 100% focused on using HighLevel to build your business. And it's got like all of my training, all of my templates. I'm updating it, a lot.
Yeah.
That's really, so what you were talking about before, MSP Academy. That's, if you said to me, hey man, I've got this video editing service that I'm doing, not HighLevel, whatever, video editing service, and I'm doing great and customers see a ton of value, but I can't scale it because it's too time intensive, too labor intensive. How do I turn this into a productized service? I would say go through MSPA. MSPA is like an MBA on how to create a productized service. But with high leverage agency, I'm getting the benefit of being able to say, well, everybody who's going through high leverage agency is using the same backbone for that productized service, which is HighLevel, which then simplifies things a lot. We can take out a lot of the theory of why we're doing this versus that and just go directly at, hey, do these things, use HighLevel in this way, package it up this way, make this money.
Okay, got it. Yeah, dude, thank you. I'm sorry it took so much time, dude. I was just like, I was so psyched. I literally was like, because I just watched all the videos. I was like, I got to get on here and talk to this guy. I don't even care if I have COVID. Like, I'm waking up on the channel.
That's awesome, man. Well, rest up, get better. But thank you for coming on. I appreciate it. Appreciate the kind words.
Yeah, dude. Hey, I'll be here next Friday. I promise you, with a whole new set of questions.
Awesome.
So I'm gonna go implement that, and then I'll have a bunch more questions for you.
I love it, man. Makes me happy. I love it.
Cool. Thank you. Have a good one, bro.
All right, thank you too, man. Daniel, you ready to come on?
Yeah.
Awesome. What's up, Daniel?
Yeah, I'm fine, man. Greetings from the Netherlands. I finally joined you. I said that I will join you the Monday, like 4 weeks ago. So sorry that I didn't join you.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you.
I love the energy, even though he has COVID.
I know, right? I love it. He's getting after it, man. I know it. Kai's an ass kicker. He's getting after it.
That's awesome. That's awesome. But I'm glad I'm here. I actually, managed to go through the course and the checklist with the HighLevel agency.
Yeah.
And I'm now at the point that I have to talk to you, but I just follow every step because I know you are an expert. So
awesome.
Ask me any questions in the circle. Oh, no calls. So here I am.
Yes, perfect.
The thing that I don't understand, Mike, is what I've been taught in different masterminds in coaching programs, is that you don't ask too many questions, even though I know it's an audit, because I'm in the audit and I see like 55 questions. I'm thinking, why? I see that in the course that you already have this section that it's that you explain it even further, but I'm not there yet. So I would like to get to know like why you have to have such a big audit in every R you.
Good question. And I'm glad I have the opportunity to explain it here because it'll be much easier to explain it here than probably in a course. So the audit originally came about literally as a paid product. So, and this goes all the way back to my first company where we were doing IT management. So when we were doing IT management, what would happen is a company would want to hire us for doing their IT management. And they would ask us, well, how much is it going to cost to do X, Y, and Z or whatever, right? And we would have to ask them, well, tell us about this. Tell us about that. Like, how many servers do you have? What are the servers doing? What firewall do you have? Are your server licenses up to date? Is the data backed up? Like, we would start asking all these questions, and they didn't know the answers because they're small businesses. They don't know what the heck's going on in there, right?
Yeah.
And so what we started doing, and this is super common with service providers in all industries, is that what you start doing is you start doing essentially free services to try and close the sale. So you start going, oh, well, look, we can send somebody over to like, look at your servers and stuff so that we have the answers that we need to start giving you a proposal, essentially. And so what service businesses do is they burn up a lot of their time of their people by going and just answering those questions during the sales process. And so what we realized was, wait a minute, we can't continue to do that. So what we did is we turned an audit into a sales product, into an offer. And so if you're about to hire us to do your IT work and you didn't have answers to all those questions, we would just say, hey, look, we totally get it, but we need answers to those questions to be able to do a good job for you. And so the first thing that we would do is we would do this audit. It's $2,500. We'll determine what's in place in all your systems. We're going to give you a nice report at the end of that audit so that even if you don't work with us, you're now going to have answers to all these questions, which you need to be able to work with any service provider. So you're going to have those answers now. And then if you do work with us, we'll credit that audit back because we needed that information to do our jobs effectively anyway. So it's like this really, really nice way of offsetting risk and cost in your sales process. And it's a nice benefit for the customer as well. And so when I got into the marketing business, we essentially put together the exact same thing because we would start talking to these businesses and we would say, well, what do you have? What's your website running on? I don't know. Where's it hosted? I don't know. What's your DNS? I don't know. Do you have any follow-up campaigns and how are they, I don't know. And so we would start doing these audits again for them as a product. So we literally would charge. Okay. Now, if you are, I would say in the IT business, that audit was like necessary probably like 90% of the time. So it was super important to us. When it comes to doing the marketing stuff that we're doing for small businesses, having an audit like that, maybe the full audit is necessary like 10% of the time.
Okay.
So, but what it's really useful for is in the sales process, making the prospect realize all of the things that they should be doing with their marketing that they're not currently doing with their marketing, right? Like, do you have a way of capturing reviews and posting those reviews in all the places that you should? No.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have follow-up sequences to make sure that you're responding to every lead within these timeframes and this many touch points? No. So you start creating this awareness for them of all the things that they could be doing better at their business, but you can do a much shorter version of that. So in that audit, there is like a first 4 or 6 questions or so of every R that what I usually do is just take that abbreviated version. So just like the first 4 or 6 questions for each R, and then just do a faster, more abbreviated audit. Okay, and I just do that as part of my sales conversation with them. Yeah. So I just walk them through it real quick and just say, hey, look, let's just go through this real fast and answer some of these questions and just kind of see where you are from a marketing perspective. Yeah. So it's not necessarily sold as a independent product. It's more just a tool in my sales conversation. Does that make sense?
It makes sense. You actually explain it in the intro of this this course. You already explained it, but now you go in depth. But you have it on number 15. You have the delivery of the audit.
Yeah.
So I have to just go through that as well. And yeah, I get it. But I'm in a renovation and decoration niche, and yeah, these people are not so bothered to spend time on this. But it is important from our view. It's for every business, if they take it serious, they go through these questions. So it's also like a sort of qualification of getting to be with us as a service.
Yeah, and so what you definitely don't want it to be a roadblock. It's not meant to be a roadblock at all. So don't let it be a roadblock.
Okay.
what it is if I was having a conversation with you, Daniel, if you had gotten to the point where you had expressed enough interest with me to book a time on my calendar, we've got 30 minutes in a conversation, and I could say, well, hey, Daniel, we've got this audit tool that we use to assess kind of how mature your organization is right now from a marketing perspective and what the big opportunities are. And so I went ahead and started this. Just by looking at your website and some publicly available information, I could answer a number of these questions myself. I could see, X, Y, and Z, blah, blah, blah. But while I'm on the call with you here real quick, maybe we just go through and just do our best to answer the rest of these questions. And so again, you're just going through the first 4 from each one. So you're not doing the full audit. It'll only take you a handful of minutes to do that on the call with them.
Yeah.
And while you're doing it, then they're seeing very clearly, oh yeah, no, we don't have that. No, we don't have that. No, we don't have that. And then you can just use that to have a little bit of a structured conversation with them to say, well, look, just in going through that simple audit, I think you can see there's some pretty obvious opportunities to have some marketing systems in place that are going to really help your business. Would you agree with that? I mean, yeah, So that's in your scenario, that's probably how I would plan on using it.
I will. Thank you for that.
You bet.
And now I have a different thing.
Mm-hmm.
I just talk to everybody that I know. I speak to people just to get some momentum going.
Good.
I have some customers. I don't refer to clients anymore because you said get away from clients.
Yeah. Good.
I like that
I like
concept. I really like it. Customers.
Yeah.
Nothing unique, just copy paste, follow on one niche. I want to niche down. I really do. Renovation, decoration, I do believe it's like the same language. So
yeah,
I want to have like a sub niche, but yeah, for now it's just there. But I spoke to a few businesses here and there, restaurants. They are interested. I have some a carpenter is interested, and I have this firm. What's it called in English? Insurance agency.
Yep.
I do believe for insurance. Yep. And my friend, he referred me. He said to him that said to the business, the insurance agents, like my friend does automations. He can automate things. It's cost like 600 to 900 a month. But me, I'm like a little bit stuck because I want to sell it, but I don't have the knowledge to sell it. Basically, I know we have some WhatsApp automation with the chatbot automations, with the conversion AI, but he really wants to have less time spent on his emails, replying to emails and replying to messages and stuff like that. So I really have to get an offer in a presentation so I can go to him and just close him. I really do. So I have I can already pay for HighLevel on this subscription, what I can have with him. So I just need help with this one. I asked it in the community, but I don't know. I don't have experience in this niche, and I don't have really experience with all the automation in HighLevel. So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, so what I would suggest to you is a couple of things. I mean, one, so have you set up your own sales process yet?
I don't.
No.
Think so.
Okay. So what you should do is you should set up your sales process using HighLevel for your own business. Okay. And start using that every day, because that's the best way to get familiar with this and to start understanding the capabilities is set it up for yourself and just start putting people through it, run tests through it, because then it's working for your business and you can see how it works and what doesn't. And, you just gotta get in there and play with stuff and test stuff. And the best way is to do it for your own business so that you're just using it every day. So you've got to do that. So go through my agency sales funnel bootcamp and make sure that you get everything set up for your own business.
Okay.
Now, what's not included in agency sales funnel bootcamp right now is the AI bot and stuff like that, because I haven't updated it since I created the bootcamp. But the AI bot is a very simple setup in HighLevel. you know, have you played around with it at all?
I made a simple bot just with the
And so
URI link. So yeah.
let me just share my screen real quick. Maybe this will help
Mhm.
others as well. Let me see.
Kun je misschien het water van pakken, alsjeblieft? Sorry, that was Dutch, by the way.
No problem. So let me go through here. So if we go into settings and go to conversation AI, so you'll see here, like what I've done is I have just put in a lot of my most common questions that I get asked in chat, right? Can I get your high level bonuses if I'm already a high level customer? Where can I learn about your high leverage agency program? Where can I learn more about your high level bonuses, right? So I just put a bunch of my most frequently asked questions in here and then put answers to them. And I have been, and I apologize. I'll apologize now to a lot of people who have been guinea pigs on my site, because I just turned it on and I'm just like, okay, I'm just going to let it run. So I've had to apologize to a lot of people in conversations and chat and say, sorry, that was my AI bot, because it gave them some goofy answers that were not great answers. But you know, it's honestly already probably saved me, you know, I don't know, a third of my time anyway.
Yeah, okay.
You know?
Sorry.
Oh, that's okay. And I was just going to say, and I think in a lot of cases, it really has helped people get their answers faster, which is really what I was concerned about, because, you know, if I'm not getting back to people, you know, in a timely manner, that bothers me. And I think in a lot of cases, it's giving people some good answers quickly, and this will just continue to get better. But it's a super simple setup. So anyway, back to answering your question. I just feel like if you set these things up for yourself and test them, you'll start to understand them and get confidence. And then the other thing is, I think you should consider is just make an offer to some of these customers to say, hey, look, let me do the first 30 days of this for you at no cost.
Yeah.
Right? Just to get that experience and take a little bit of pressure off of you to feel like you have to be like the guru with all the answers.
Yeah.
You know, like if you have some kind of friendly prospects, people that are, you know, maybe you have some sort of relationship with, so that you can have a conversation with them and say, well, hey, look, you know, I'm just getting started with this. And so I don't have all the answers to know for sure 100% if what I'm going to be able to offer you is exactly what you're looking for. But I do feel pretty confident that it is. And so, you know, how about we take a little bit of time here? I'll set this up and do some experiments and stuff like that. And then at the end of 30 days, you can determine if it's a good fit for you or not. And if it is, then you become a paid, you know, customer. Like, I think that's a nice low pressure way to get going in some of those cases. And then I would say, so are you familiar at all with my 5F framework? Have you gotten to that anywhere in your training?
I think I've seen it before once. Yeah, but yeah.
So when you say
I signed up 2 days ago, so I just do the high level leverage agency thing.
So you're drinking from the fire hose right now. Like you're getting a lot of information thrown at you. My 5F framework is a way that I've tried to simplify as much as possible the strategies and, to some degree, the steps as to how as to the core marketing sequences and things like that you would put in place for a business. Okay, so it's universal, kind of like my R4 is universal. The 5Fs are universal. So and I'll just walk through just real quick. The first F is find. You've got to help businesses find new customers, right? And so you're doing that through ads, you're doing that through content, you're doing that through SEO. You're trying to get people to find, right? To find you. Okay. Next step is to filter. Okay. So now that somebody's found me, I'm going to filter them, which is, I'm going to ask the questions to qualify them. I'm going to put a lead magnet in front of them to see how interested are they in a certain topic or a certain solution at this moment, and give them the opportunity to opt in and contact me. Maybe just get a lead magnet, or maybe book a time on my calendar, or whatever it is. I'm filtering them. Okay. So I'm bringing them into my world, a next step. The next is to frame. And frame is like the nurturing that you're doing. So frame in psychology and in marketing is, I'm trying to get you to see the world my way. So when you opt in to my list and you get all my follow-up sequences about customers versus clients and assets over agency and, assets and automation instead of time and talent, I'm framing you. I'm getting you to hear my ideas and to hopefully get you to believe in my ideas, because by the time I've done that, I should be the right person for you to buy from. Like if you hear those ideas and you believe those ideas and they make sense to you, you should want to buy from Mike Cooch next, right? Instead of somebody else, because that somebody else didn't have those ideas. Yeah. So the next one is follow up. Follow up is, okay, now I think I have a prospect, an opportunity. I'm going to follow up with them and try and close the sale. And then follow through is, I've closed the sale. Now I need to fulfill all my promises, right? Those are 5 F's that are universal to every business, whether it's an insurance agency, a restaurant, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
All those apply to every business. If you get that framework, and I've got actually some snapshot workflow capabilities and stuff like that in HighLevel that you can get, you can take that framework and you can apply it to any business. So you can sit down with that insurance agent today, or you can sit down with the restaurant tomorrow and go, okay, first is F. How am I going to help them find new prospects? Second is filter. How do I make sure that by the time this person makes it on the phone with this insurance agent, it's actually somebody qualified, so I'm not wasting their time? What questions do I need to ask them in a survey? Next is frame. What content am I going to send out to those insurance agent prospects to make sure that they understand why they should be buying a whole life policy versus a term policy and all this type of stuff? So you can start to structure your approach to the services that you're going to provide by thinking through that framework. I understand you're just getting started, and so that's a lot. I just threw a ton at you. My courses are throwing a ton at you, but I'm trying to give you a shortcut to hopefully start understanding, like, okay, here's the systems that I could put into place to help any customer. Because when you learn to think about it in universal frameworks like that, it's the same with the R4. I can sit down and talk to any small business and talk to them about those 4 R's and sell them. And then once they're sold and they say, okay, well, how are you going to do what you're talking about doing? And I could go through the 5 F's and I could look like an expert in marketing just by talking through the 5 F's. Like, even if I'm not getting into the details of what I'm going to do for them, I can come across as somebody who knows what I'm talking about. And I can use that as the foundation of how I'm going to structure my services. So I hope that helps. Like I said, I know that's a lot.
It helps. It helps. But I don't want to be overwhelmed as well, because I just take it in. I appreciate it that you try to get me this overload. But, I would just want to know, like, he doesn't need like some of the F's, because he also already has a bunch of clients, customers. So he just wants to have the automations in place, so he doesn't lose time, and his time is equals money. So
that's awesome. So it sounds to me like it's really the filter and follow up.
Yeah. Okay.
And so if you were to, my guess is that if we were to have a conversation with this gentleman right now, he would say, I spend a lot of time answering repetitive questions for people that I'm not sure are even qualified. They don't even turn into business. So I'm wasting a bunch of my time. Right.
Yeah.
So with the chat widget, with automated workflows for like SMS, automated email, or maybe WhatsApp, you could create a series of questions that it automatically asks the prospect. And then depending on those answers, then it would put them in touch with him. But if the answers were wrong, then it would say, now you go this way. so that this guy doesn't have to waste time with them personally, you know? So you're qualifying them to say, okay, you answered these questions right, you go here. You answer these questions wrong, you go over here, and we don't ask you to book an appointment on our calendar or anything like that. So those sequences with workflows, if you look at my, here, hold on, let me go back to my screen here real quick. If you look at, switch my account.
So you talked about one course, that's the funnel one, something with funnel, and then the other one was the, how is it called? It's the 5 Fs. How is the course called?
Well, that is, so you should just stick with high leverage agency.
Okay.
But high leverage agency is one of the things that comes with high leverage agency is the agency sales funnel bootcamp. So the agency sales funnel bootcamp is where you would set up your sales process using HighLevel. And that's critical because you're going to learn a ton by
so that's in the HighLevel agency course. Okay.
It's actually a separate course, but you can get access to it from high leverage agency. Yes.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Meaning I have to pay for it, you mean, or is it?
No.
Oh yeah. Okay.
No, it's included. So let me just go here. Let me go to. Still got to update all those fancy dashboards that we have access to now. If you go into high leverage agency and you scroll all the way down to snapshots.
I already did that, to be honest. I jumped the gun.
Because
I was excited to see the websites, you know. I already installed them all to see what does he have for me, you know.
That's what most people do. And let's see here.
But you told us not to do.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sensei. Sorry.
No, it's all right. This reactivate and resell section will show you some of how you like set up a follow-up sequence and stuff like that, to like some of the automations around how to do that. And then as well, if you go all the way down here again, all the way down to snapshots, you're going to see my 5F sales and marketing snapshot here.
Okay.
So the 5F, and you can see right there, there's an explanation of those 5 Fs and how this snapshot mirrors that. And so I think if you go through that, it's going to give you some instruction on how you set up, you know, some of these follow-up sequences and stuff like that. And use the technology of HighLevel to be able to do that. And then, you know, again, I think by setting up your own sales process, going through that training, I think by then you should be able to come back to me with like, hey, Mike, I've done this and maybe it's not working like I want to. Something like you're going to have your hands dirty a little bit, and I can give you some more feedback on how to, you know, make adjustments to what you're doing, I hope. Does that make sense?
It makes sense, Mike. I appreciate it. I appreciate your time. I have to say, I have to go to bed. It's
do it.
Because I have a weekend job and it starts from the early morning, but it's a full-time job.
Yeah,
it's 2 times 12 hours, but it's a full time. So in the week, I have my time for my business.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, that's I was awesome. Searching for this, so I got it, and now I can just do this. But now my first goal is to fire my boss and have the weekend with my kids and wife.
I love that. I love it, man. Well, that's my goal for you too. So keep in touch with me here then, and just let me help you as much as I can. Okay.
Thank you, man. I'm excited to jump on all the courses. Thank you very much, Mike.
Awesome. All right. Thank you. Have a good one.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye. Ken, how are you, sir?
Good. How you doing?
Good. How can I help you?
Oh, man. Hell, I've learned a lot just being on watching those last 2 guys. So I think I have more of an admin question in terms of this. I started out with you in March as a $97 guy. And then a couple of months ago, I went to the $297 with, I just upgraded. And so I started out with a product I started out with just ERC. You probably heard of that. Did a bunch of ERC stuff. And then I went into some business funding, and I was just writing basically just funnels and funnels and funnels. And so my background is software architect. I'm another fancy word of saying I've been a programmer many years.
Yeah.
And so what I'm building and almost have finished building now, using a combination of Go HighLevel and some outside code, is kind of an enterprise-ish class solution that I want to deploy, and I've got a customer base ready to receive it. My question is, it is. I'm excited as it can be.
Yeah.
So, but in this, I have this idea that I'm at the 297 now, freelance or whatever they call it. Okay. And so I can I can create all these sub accounts.
Mm-hmm.
So my customers are going to fall into two main categories. For Go HighLevel world, let's just call them an agency and agents, right? So basically, an agency that has agents. And so an agent can be its own separate customer if their agency is not, or the agency can be the customer and bring on their agents, right? Okay.
Right.
So that's the model. So for me to pull this off, do I go to the 497 product and I start creating 297 guys underneath me as customers, or do I stay 297 and I just start? Only a handful of these guys are going to need to create sub accounts themselves, I'm guessing. So I'm either going to have agencies that run a standalone business with agents under them, or I'm going to have just independent agents as part of the deal. So I don't know if I'm making sense, but I'm trying to figure out, I want to begin with the end in mind. And a year from now, I don't want to be all screwed up and I can't scale and I can't grow because I didn't think through just the structure correctly. The solution I got down pat, it's just that structure of how do I construct this business so that when I'm not having, I have 2 clients now, but when I have 200, okay, am I set up for that structurally within this world? Am I making sense to you?
Yeah. No, you are. I think either way you want to go to the 497 because you're going to make more money at 497 than you are at 297. So I think that you want to do that regardless.
Okay.
What's that?
I said, okay.
Yeah. And then in terms of the structure, so I don't imagine that so who are the customers again? Tell me exactly what's the industry?
Insurance.
Okay, it is insurance. Okay. So I don't think that anybody that you're going to bring on as a customer, my guess, is going to want to be involved in any way in the process of creating sub accounts and things like that. That would all come through you. And I think that the answer is that I think that you are always just going to have these businesses come onto your white label of HighLevel, and at what level they come on and what price point and stuff like that will probably just depend on the type of organization. So in other words, if you have an agency that you bring on,
right,
that then they are going to have 50 agents set up as almost like employees of their team, right?
Right.
Then, maybe you bring that on as a 497 customer, and then for every agent you add to their account, it's $97 a month additional or something like that.
Right.
But it's all in that one account. And then
so my question there is, and this is maybe where I got tripped up, is if I have a sub account and I know I can easily invoice a sub account because it's all set up in there to do, but can I invoice the users of a sub account? Because everybody, the agencies the subscription that the agents themselves use, be it under an agency or independent, will come to me, not come to the agency.
Okay.
So how do I set up agents under agencies? Will they be users, or because I don't know if I can invoice users directly?
Well, yeah, they would be users. I mean, it sounds like in the billing model that you want to do, it sounds like it's not really what HighLevel is set up to do natively. So you might have to come up with your own billing solution for this. So and it may just be as simple as at the beginning of each month, you're looking at the account and you're saying, well, that account has 50 users, and this invoice goes out to these people, for this amount. Like there may just be like a little bit of a manual process in there. I'm sure that with HighLevel, you can automate everything. So I'm sure that you could do some sort of export of here's the users. And then are you planning on invoicing each of those users independently, you're saying? So like,
well, I am, and there's kind of a layering effect, because those at the agent level, the product has a basic plan, and then they could purchase or not purchase add-ons, which are basically some sophisticated workflows I've created to do certain types of things for them.
Yeah.
And not everybody will want them, but some will. And so this guy's $97 a month, but this guy's $117 a month or something like that. And so is that getting a little too sophisticated for the billing of Go HighLevel?
I just think it's not currently that independent billing of all of the users like that is not currently what the system is set up to do.
Okay.
So I think that if you want to do that, I think that you're just going to have to cobble together that's kind of the point in this system, that you're going to have to cobble together your own solution in some way.
Well, I've created my own API library. I mean, I've gotten away from Zapier and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I use AWS Lambda, and I got all that set up already.
Yeah.
So
the good news is that it sounds like you're very well equipped to make it happen with as much automation and technology as possible. Whereas what I would do is I would hire somebody and be like, look, at the end of every month, count up all those people and send out an invoice manually to all of them out of QuickBooks, So, you're better off than I would be for sure. But it sounds like that's what you're going to have to do, is something along those lines, because what you should also not be doing, what HighLevel is not really set up to do, is you should not be setting up each of these companies as their own instance of HighLevel so that you can set them up with sub accounts and then build those sub accounts. Like, HighLevel doesn't really want you working that way either, because HighLevel is supposed to be for marketing agencies. It's not meant to be something that the individual customer has their own account for at the agency level. So I don't think that you want to do that either. And, and if this is a big enough opportunity and stuff, I'm sure probably the right answer is to get on a call with somebody at HighLevel that's senior enough to be able to be like, here, we're going to set you up with this solution to kind of use this the way that you want to. But,
I don't know that I have your clout.
Well, no, I don't have that clout either. I'm just saying that if it's a big enough opportunity, they may go, okay, we can create some sort of workaround. But I just think that to start, I wouldn't even bother doing that, honestly. I mean, like, until it gets to be a big enough problem, I wouldn't bother doing that. I would just create just kind of a manual solution to solve the problem for now.
Okay, so short of the billing, then you're saying $497, and then at $497, I'm just creating sub accounts, really, like I'm doing at the $297 level, right? I mean, there's no real big difference there, right? Okay.
Yep.
And so each billable entity would be a sub account, not an instance of HighLevel, but a sub account under my thing, right? Is what you're thinking?
Well, yes, except for that situation where you're talking about the users of somebody's sub account that you're saying that you would bill them.
Well, I mean, I would, right, but the main entity would be a sub account, and their users. The users is where I have to get involved and do a little bit of tinkering myself. Okay. All right. Well, then I guess, and so the $497, that it really just allows me that extra rebilling and some of that stuff, right? I mean, and functionality wise, I'm not gaining any functionality with
and better margins on that stuff. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
Yeah. I'm not sure how helpful I was, but hopefully
Well, you know, that gives me enough to where I can
cool.
wade in a little. I can wade into the deep water a little bit
Yeah,
more.
yeah.
See where we go from here. So that'll be
Awesome.
good.
Well,
So,
keep me posted.
I will, Mike. Thank you so much. Thanks for all your
All right.
time on doing this, dude.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Thank you, Ken.
Okay, man. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right. I'm going to go through these questions here in the chat. Thank you, everybody, for waiting patiently. Let's see here. Jeff says, new to Go High Level and getting a handle on offering one thing, just waiting on approval. Can you explain how the website process works? Jeff, you have to let me know a little bit more. The website process as in your website, or website process as in selling and providing websites to customers, or something like that? Let me know. Paul says, any thoughts on Perry Belcher's presentation at the summit? I didn't actually sit through the presentation, Paul, but I actually ended up having lunch with Perry right after that presentation. So he and I sat and had lunch, and he explained to me generally what he was talking about. I mean, as you guys know, I'm a huge fan of newsletters, and I think that to me, I wish everybody would start a newsletter in their market and treat it like a media asset, because I think the benefits are so awesome. And it is an asset. It's something that can easily be sold to somebody else at some point in the future. So I'm a big fan of them. I definitely like the concept of what he's doing from a technology perspective to try and make it as easy as possible as well. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate you. We do a promotion of a November special, giving thanks to local businesses, get a free website to 20 local businesses. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. I love doing promotions like that. In fact, I'm thinking about doing something kind of similar for their San Diego in the month of December. So yeah, absolutely. James says, please explain the Go High Level snapshot. Looking to sell Go High Level websites and website funnel systems like you teach. Okay, cool. So yes, so a snapshot is literally, think of it just like a picture of everything that you've loaded and configured into an account. So if you took a sub account in High Level and you put this website template in it and these follow-up sequences in there and all that stuff, and you took a picture of it and said, that's like the perfect base account. I want to start with that every time I sign up a new customer. Well, then what you can do is every time you sign up a new customer, when you create their account, you can take that snapshot and drop it into the account so that now that account will have all of those assets ready to go, right? And I say ready to go. You're going to do some modification to make it specifically ready to go for that customer, right? You got to put their name in there, their logo in there, their phone number in there, right? But that's what a snapshot does, is it gives you incredible ease and scalability in terms of being able to deliver some assets to those customers really quickly. So as an example, we go back over to our account here and we look at the R4 snapshot, right? So the R4 snapshot is what everybody gets, if they sign up for oops, it's not good. If they sign up for our High Level through me, right? And they get the R4 snapshot. So the R4 snapshot is, let me see if I can get that going, hopefully. Okay, cool. So the R4 snapshot already has this entire sales funnel in it. And it's already got, this webinar funnel in it. And it's already got all of these marketing templates, these, email templates in it. And it's already got all of these workflows in it. So if you are an agency who is coming to start up your agency with High Level, I can take this snapshot. All you do is you hit a link, say yes, and it drops all of these assets into your account so that you as an agency, instead of starting from scratch and figuring out, okay, how do I set up my business in High Level? You now have all of these assets dropped into your account ready to go from day one. Okay. So James, if you're trying to offer websites and a website funnel, then what you're going to do, so let's just say, for simplicity, James, let's just say that you are going to work just with restaurants to get started. Okay. There's probably like 3 website templates, that like structures for websites for restaurants that you could go out there and find. Well, let's just do it, right? Let's not go out and let's not talk theory. Let's just do this right now. Let's just say that I wanted to offer 3 different types of websites for restaurants. So I go right here, I click new website, I go to from templates, I click continue, and then I go and I look for restaurants, restaurant and bar. Well, what do you know? Here's not just 3, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Oh, wait, those are not all restaurants. What happened there? At some point or another, it stopped being just restaurants. Oh, I see. Then it goes into restaurant cleaning and stuff like that. Well, anyway, there's a whole heck of a lot of templates in here that you could offer. So maybe you don't want to offer all of these. Maybe you want to take 5 of them that are like distinctly different in style. And then when a customer signs up with you, you could say, which one of these 5 do you think represents the style that you would like to have for your website? And they pick one of the 5. Great. Well, then they pick this one. And this is the one that you load into their account in a snapshot. Okay. And so, and look, just because this says Mexican restaurant, that doesn't mean that this only applies to Mexican restaurants, right? This is just an example, but you could change a passion for Mexican to a passion for barbecue and change some of the images on there. And now you got a barbecue site, right? Obviously, this Mexican restaurant probably isn't serving croissants and lattes to go. So, you're just going through and just changing the imagery and changing the word on the site. But now you've got websites that you can offer. Okay. Now, let's say that every restaurant you've determined should have a birthday funnel. Okay. So you go in here, and if you're in my program, then you've got a birthday campaign snapshot. So every restaurant should be marketing to people on their birthdays. So you could take this birthday sales funnel and you can, that's a sales funnel as in you selling to them. You take this birthday service funnel, and again, these images are obviously just meant to be replaced, but you now have a set of landing pages and workflows right here that you can create a birthday club for all of these restaurants, because recognizing people on their birthday is one of the easiest. Oh my gosh, I'm not sharing my screen. Damn it. Sorry, guys. Hold on. Let me go back. So hold on. Let me go to, I'll show you here real quick. If we are starting with the websites, okay. Just want to make sure you guys see this. If you go to websites, go to new website, hit from templates, okay. And then scroll down right here, choose restaurant and bar, and you've got all of these restaurant templates in here. So again, what I would do, this is my experience in doing websites for small businesses as a systems-based approach, is I would find 5 website templates in here that are all like distinctly different in how they look and represent the business, right? This one's got this, main, header image that's really big when you come to the site. This one's got, these 3 layers, it's not just one big image. Like, so they just look different. Because most people, when they think about their website, what they're really thinking about is how does it look first, right? And so that you can have them choose, okay, this is your website template then that we're going to run with. You can load that into a snapshot, right? That you will then deliver to your customers. And then again, let's say that now you've determined that every restaurant, there's like a handful of funnels that every restaurant should have. They should have a birthday funnel. They should have a coupon funnel, right? And so you're going to create a snapshot that's got these core funnels in there. And what does that mean, a funnel? Well, a funnel means that there's going to be certain pages that go with that funnel. So here's your birthday club offer for restaurants. And then there's going to be workflows that go with that funnel. So here's the birthday club workflows. There's then going to be marketing templates, email templates, SMS templates that go with those workflows. Okay. So I've created all those for you here. So in this particular case, I obviously there's some things that you may want to offer that I haven't created for you, but I'm showing you what you could do is you could take all of this, James, and you put that into a snapshot so that when you sign on a new restaurant customer, you're able to say to them, yes, our restaurant customers get this growth marketing system that includes a best practices website, lead capture forms, a birthday club, birthday campaigns, loyalty campaigns, coupon campaigns, all the things that we can do to drive repeat business back at your restaurant with automation. And that's now all that you just pack into a snapshot and drop into their account for them so that your setup of creating a new customer account and all the marketing systems that go with it takes you like 1/10 of the time, maybe 1/20th of the time, like 5% of the time that it would take you if you were going and doing that from scratch without a snapshot. Okay. I hope that helps you. And how you create a snapshot and how you load a snapshot into account. I've got videos for that. There's all kinds of free videos inside of HighLevel and their help that will show you exactly how to do that. So rather than me repeating all of that on this call, just go in there and watch those. Okay. Greg, you ready to come on? Awesome. How are you, sir?
What's up, man? I'm doing pretty good.
Good. Good to see you.
Awesome, man. So
you said you'd make it to some calls. Here you are.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
Yeah, I love it.
How can I help you? So I've got the opportunity to work with Extendly to do my service. And awesome. I'm going through their process, and I've got one of their DR snapshots. You know, I think it's based on Rob's stuff.
Yep.
So that's going to be my main number one offer is to do that, and then have the reputation resell package as my core offer.
Yep. Cool.
So my question is I've never been through the onboarding process with the customer for Go HighLevel or anything like that, or really in any business, right? So this is brand new to me, like creating SOPs. So that's what I'm doing with Extendly coming up next week is they're working with me to create my own onboarding SOPs.
Awesome.
So my question for you is there anything like you might advise me, like as far as what I need to do? Because I'm kind of relying heavily on them and just what I know from you and all that stuff. So
yes, absolutely. Have you gone through? Are you in High Leverage Agency, Greg, or no?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Have you gone through the onboarding training I have in there?
Yeah, I think so, but it's been a while, so I probably need to
no sweat.
Yeah.
So that's fine. I just want to remind you that it's in there so that you go and reference that, because that will definitely, I think, have some good value for you. But let me just show you real quick. And then we'll talk about like just briefly here, like how you need to approach it, because that's more important than anything to me, is like how you approach it versus me being able to tell you, specifically do these exact things.
Right.
But right in here. So you got follow through, activating your customers, and then service delivery, onboarding. So this onboarding strategy and process, I think, will be like super important for you to make sure that whatever you're putting together with Extendly is like matching the strategy, that it's got the core strategy behind it.
Okay.
And let me just cover some of those things for you here briefly in terms of just kind of, recommendations for you. So one, you can, so if you follow my surge to SaaS approach, one of the benefits of the surge is it buys you some time. So essentially what you say to the customer is, great, we're going to set our onboarding call for 2 weeks from now. In between now and then, our team is going to be doing X, Y, Z, to get everything set, right? And whatever that time frame is, depending on the service you're offering, maybe you don't need 2 weeks, but
Right.
whatever that time frame is, now you've got that period of time to like go in, set up their account, make sure you got everything dialed in the way that you want it, and you're doing that all behind the scenes before the customer ever gets into the account. And that gives you an opportunity to like, okay, I got this thing set up right. It gives you some confidence and stuff, right? And then on that onboarding call, you want to, in my opinion, and again, it depends on exactly what all you're offering, but I would want to do an onboarding orientation call with just the leadership team of the company. So let's say you've got a company with 15 employees and there's like 2 like bosses, and then the rest are, people just kind of working in the business. I would do an onboarding call first with those 2 bosses.
Okay.
And walk them through it. Hey, here's everything you got. Here's how it gets used. Here's where your employees will be using the system and how. And then I would do a second orientation call where you've got the employees involved as well. So that way you can take them through, what needs to be done separately.
Okay.
And then I would just make sure that you are doing like office hours calls like this. Like I would have a weekly office hours call where people can just jump on and help you. I would make sure they all know your support email address so they can get a hold of you that way. Those to me are like the most important things. And then in onboarding, the whole rule about you've got one time to make a first impression, that's the thing. The first 30 days with a customer, you want to kind of bend over backwards to make sure that they're getting the care that they need, to feel confident, to get up and running, to see the value. Because if you do that, you'll buy years of loyalty from them, right? So that's the important part, is like really making a push in that first 30 days to make sure that they're feeling the love.
Right. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. So I think that with Stanley, their package, includes like doing that setup, that initial setup of the account for me.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming that's kind of what we're going to work out, since it's their.
That sounds awesome.
Yeah. So I'm just going to go out and sell the DR campaign. I got lead magnet. I got the whole funnel set up, so I'm ready to go. And I just wanted to make sure.
That's awesome, man.
That the business part. I know the marketing. So it's the business part that.
Yeah.
So that's why I know I'm in the right place talking to you. So I appreciate.
That's awesome, man. Keep me posted.
I will. All right, that's all I need from you, brother. I appreciate it.
All right, we'll talk soon.
All right, man. Thanks.
Let's see here. Horse business success. I'd love to know your thoughts for qualifying prospects within HighLevel's prospecting dashboard. Anything in particular you recommend to qualify or go for all? That's a good question. So I know the prospecting dashboard has got some upgrades. Honestly, I have not been a real active user of the prospecting dashboard because that's not how I'm going about getting business. I'm getting business doing my content marketing. Then people come into my sales funnel, and then I qualify them with a survey there. So I'm not super familiar with it. I would just say that let me just go to real quick. I'll be right back with you. Let me just go to that tab. All right. Let me just share here where I'm at. We can take a look at it. So this is inside the prospecting dashboard. And I love that you can just convert it to a sub account automatically. That's awesome. So marketing auto report for your prospect has been generated. Show the report, and you've got all their general information. Let's go ahead and pop it open. Claim status, chat widget on website. Yeah, this is awesome. This is definitely improved since I was in here and using it. Yeah, so I will probably start using this now. I think I think that, to me, I mean, the report and the content looks awesome. I think there's kind of two approaches to this, right? So one is the approach of you're going to use this to cold reach out to businesses. I like it much more than a lot of options for cold reaching out to prospects, because you're delivering value, right? And so, because this is valuable for a business to be able to see this information, it's valuable, right? They probably don't even have a lot of awareness of a lot of these things. So the fact that you can send them a nice report like this cold is better than a lot of other cold prospecting approaches. That being said, it's still cold. And so, there's going to be a lot of, there's just going to be a lot of people that just flat out ignore you, right? So the fact that you're, going through any effort and sending this to them, to some degree, you just have to recognize that it's just going to fall on deaf ears. The second approach is that you're using this as soon as you've got somebody that's raised their hand and said, I'm interested at all in what you're saying. So, like, as an example, let's just say that you put together a piece of content, a video, a blog post, something like that, and you were marketing that. And you were saying, hey, one of the things that we do for our prospects and our customers is we do a marketing audit report so that we can see the obvious opportunities to get them more customers. And you're just kind of scrolling through this report in the background while you're saying that, right? Well, that's going to get a lot of small businesses going, I wonder what our marketing audit report would say. And so you get some people that contact you, and they're contacting you with the expectation of, I can get a marketing audit report from these guys. So now it's a really useful tool to just kind of start, and act as a foundation for that conversation with them. That's more of how I would use it, is like, okay, I've got somebody who's raised their hand and said they're interested in working with me. And I would use this as a little bit of, a fire starter in our conversation with them. That's personally the approach that I would take. If you're doing the cold prospecting approach, again, it's cold. I mean, gosh, if I opened up my inbox today and I showed you the number of people every day that send me some sort of report, analysis, free thing, do this, do that I never look at. I would never click on their links to go look at their free report. Like, if somebody's just sending me that cold and I don't know who they are and they just send me a link, I'm not going to click on the link, right? That's like, phishing, right? So I'm not going to do that. So, to me personally, I think that it's a great looking tool. I just think it's a great looking tool for when you actually got somebody on the hook a little bit already. And that hook could be as simple as you're running ads saying, hey, San Diego small businesses, let us create a free marketing audit report for you so you can see the opportunities to, get more customers, faster here right away with just some simple changes to your website or your, whatever. And then they have a form that they can fill out to contact you saying, yeah, I want my marketing audit report. That's the approach I would be taking. Okay. I'm setting everything up to do some heavy duty outreach to sell websites as a service using snapshots. I love it. How do we avoid duplicate content issues? That's really not actually even an issue. It's so funny because I've been dealing with the duplicate content objection for probably 15 years now. There's really one, if you go and study the actual duplicate content issue, this is not an issue really at all. But the other answer is for every website that you're creating for your customers, you should be putting their content on the website. Like the website is not just a it's not like you're just dropping the exact same content on every website out there. Yeah, John, exactly. It's really not an issue. So one, don't worry about it. Two, when you're building a website for your customers, you should be putting their content on the site. The about us should be their about us. The description of whatever they do for customers and stuff should be their description. Like it should be written for them. And that's so easy in today's world to if they don't already have that, which most of them will, they'll have a version of that already from their existing website or whatever, right? So you literally just take that and put it on the new website. But you could, obviously you could run it through ChatGPT or something like that and do a rewrite of it. But it's really not anything that you need to worry about. We're relaunching based on the high leverage agency and the training is so well explained. Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm glad to hear that. Well, I've got lots of updates coming your way to hopefully make it better. If you had to hire 3 employees to scale the Go High Level business, which positions would you pick? Great question, Matt. I would pick somebody to be a general service operations person. So somebody that can just, they'll get in and understand high level. They'll get in and understand how to use snapshots. They'll be able to answer support questions. They'll be able to do some basic training videos for people when stuff comes up, like just somebody who can just get their hands dirty and just kind of do all this stuff, right? And then I would hire somebody who is sales focused, and then ultimately an account manager type of person. But whether or not that first account manager person that you hire should really be somebody who's just like a real hands-on, getting their hands dirty, just like that first employee that I described, that service operations and fulfillment person. It should really just be a second one of those. And out of those people, somebody's probably going to rise to the level of being able to do like account management. So being able to get on the phone with a customer and have like a good conversation with them where they're giving direction, they're talking a little bit of marketing strategy with them, stuff like that. One of those people is going to rise to the occasion to play that role for you. But those are the people I put in place first. Okay. What's the cost of the R4 snapshot for those who already have Go High Level? Actually, you can get it through, so many of my programs. Probably the most affordable one is to just get Agency Sales Funnel Bootcamp. Agency Sales Funnel Bootcamp comes with my R4 sales system and snapshot. I think it's $297. I think is the price. Excuse me for the cough there, guys. Yes, custom values are just a miracle, aren't they? It's incredible. I love them. What Go High Level do I need in order to make it happen? Oh, to use the snapshots, James, just $297, the agency level. Okay. Ultimately, you end up wanting to be at $497 as soon as you get any customers going, because there's just financial benefit to doing that. You're gonna make more money. But to get going with being able to set up sub accounts and put snapshots into them, the agency level at $297. Oh, look at that! Awesome, Ken. I take full credit, Ken. You did it on my call, so I get full credit. That's awesome. Congrats. And if that's something, Ken, if that's something that I should know, like as in, hey, Mike, you didn't understand high level, please let me know. Maybe you could shoot a little video and send it to me or something like that. Because if it's something that you're like, oh no, Mike, it does actually work that way, you just didn't know it, please let me know, because I want to know that. Let's see here. Newsletters tied to asset. Could you give a basic outline of how the model works? I'm thinking a magazine website. So I send an email out giving outlines of stories, which subs click through to get websites. Yeah. So here's, So people are asking about the whole newsletter model. Why do I like the newsletter model? Well, let me explain this. If you are, as an agency, building up your own marketing newsletter, building up, your own newsletter. So, which everybody should, right? Everybody, please understand this. You have to have your own newsletter for the people on your list, your prospects. If you don't have a newsletter where you're keeping in touch with them, demonstrating your expertise, you're not using your head, right? So we all have to have that. That is not what I'm referring to. Everybody has to have that. Like, that's not even a question. What I'm referring to is building a newsletter that is an asset to get you attention in the marketplace that is beyond just your agency services and your agency website and newsletter. Okay. So as an example, most people on this call probably already know, but I publish There's San Diego here in San Diego. Okay. So this is my website. There's San Diego is a website about all of the best things to eat, drink, see, and do in San Diego. Okay. I publish this. I have a newsletter with 35,000 people on it here in San Diego that read our newsletter to hear about all the best things to eat, drink, see, and do. Okay. So what is that doing for me as a marketing agency? Okay. A handful of things. Let's discuss all of them. Okay. One is I am demonstrating to the world every day, all day, that I understand how to do marketing, which most agencies, you don't know what they can do for you until you pay them, versus I'm showing you what I can do for you before you pay me. I can show you, hey, look, I do this stuff every day. Create content, rank content, do social media, have a newsletter, 35,000 people, yada, 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 right? So when somebody comes and says, can you help me with my marketing? Where's the proof? I can say, well, here's the proof. Okay. Second thing that this does is it just attracts a ton of people to us, right? A ton of small business owners are reading There's San Diego. And maybe they're even seeing an article about them in There's San Diego. Or they're contacting us and saying, I'd really like to have our business featured on There's San Diego, right? So it's the ultimate foot in the door to be able to sell marketing services. Okay. And that newsletter is a core component of that. So now I also have a completely separate asset, right? That this has value to it above and beyond my marketing services in my business, right? So I could sell this as a business, right? And it's a separate business that I can sell, right? So it's got just all kinds of incredible benefits to me as a marketing services provider. Now, if you go and look at somebody who is doing this as a business model, look at Axios. Okay, and that took me to my account page. If you go to Axios is a media company, right? And they have a local news section. This is a big push for them. So in all these cities, they have in particular newsletters. Why do they have newsletters? Because newsletters work. They're effective. And so they send out these simple daily newsletters to people in San Diego and all those other markets across the country and sell advertising in those newsletters. So you can see a model of how this can be done, even if you are not focused on building out like the full media presence like I am. They are incredibly valuable assets. And I say to people, like, think about it. If you're going to spend $10,000 this year marketing your agency, okay, that $10,000 that you're spending marketing your agency will generate revenue for you. Of course, that's why you're doing the marketing. But for the most part, when the marketing is done, there's no value to that $10,000 that was spent beyond the revenue that you generated, which again, that's great. Versus when I spend $10,000 to build up their San Diego and to build up my newsletter list for their San Diego, my $10,000 lives on in the fact that I've built this asset that continues to get traffic and attention and get people on my newsletter, all that stuff, right? So it's creating this, I'm investing the same $10,000 that other people are, but my $10,000 is also creating an asset. And many of you guys know assets over agency. That's my whole, that's like a tagline of mine, right? So I'm building an asset. In life as entrepreneurs, we should always look for the opportunity to build an asset versus just taking action. Taking action is awesome and it's important. But if I wake up and I make 100 cold calls today, at the end of the day, I've got nothing to show for it. If I wake up today and I create a YouTube video and that YouTube video goes up on YouTube and gets me 1,000 views every month, I've got an asset. Same time, okay? Both can produce customers. So I'm not saying that one's wrong necessarily. I'm just saying that one produces an asset. Anytime you can produce an asset, in my opinion, do it, because assets continue to work on your behalf, right? So that's a core part of my strategy. So that newsletter can be, I saw there's a question asking, so they're not like niche focused or whatever. They can absolutely be niche focused. So depending on how big your market is, you have to determine whether or not it makes sense to be niche focused. It's like in San Diego, could I do a newsletter that's just about real estate in San Diego? Absolutely. It's a big market. It's an incredibly valuable market, right? And I could make it, when I say about real estate, I don't mean making it like a newsletter just about like real estate for sale. I mean, making it about living in San Diego, but focused around things that are real estate related. So, we're going to do a tour of this beautiful new mansion on the beach, and we're going to cover the designer that did the interior and the architect that did the blah, 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 right? People love reading that kind of content. It's like this view into this other world. Well, the people who love to read that kind of content tend to be people who are also looking to buy homes and rent apartments and stuff, right? Because they're human beings. So it's a great place for then you to be able to advertise real estate agents or mortgage services or your marketing services for real estate agents or mortgage brokers, right? So if you're going to build up this newsletter asset of 50,000 people in San Diego that are paying attention to your real estate related newsletter, you can bet your butt that when you go to sell your marketing services, and let's say I go to sell my marketing services with my real estate newsletter, and you're a competing marketing agency, and you go to sell your marketing services to that same real estate agent, right? We both sit down and make our pitch. And the real estate agent says to the first agency, well, what are you going to do? And how do I know you're going to do a good job? We're going to create these campaigns for you and this content for you and all this type of stuff. And that's what we do. We're a marketing agency. Okay. And they go to me then and they say, how do I know what you're going to do? What are you going to do? How do I know you're going to do a good job? And I say, well, I'm going to leverage my list of 50,000 people here in San Diego that are interested in real estate, that subscribe to my newsletter. I'm going to make sure that you're featured in our newsletter so that those 50,000 people see you. And then I'm also going to put these marketing systems in place so that when they see you featured there, they're going to end up in your sales process where we're going to do these automated follow-up sequences and yada, yada. Right? So I've got this asset that I can use as my foot in the door to sell that's dramatically more powerful than somebody just saying, we're going to do agency stuff for you. Right. So I'm a huge fan of it. It's really not that hard. You know, it's going to take you some extra effort at first to get that thing out of the gate. I get it, but it's just not that hard. And it's a brilliant asset. It really has so much benefit. It's hard to stress. Danny says, hi, Mike, clarification. Would you advise using UpX for marketing my own HLA? Yes, absolutely. I think UpX is great. Yeah. So if you are not like super skilled with running Facebook ads, or you just want to save yourself some time and make it easy, yes. And I do provide UpX templates based on my ad formulas for everybody in my high leverage agency program. So and anybody who's a affiliate of UpX through me. So, you know, make sure and grab those to take advantage of them. Yes, there you go. I'm working with a local group of businesses like a chamber. What assets can I create? Well, as I just mentioned, like a marketing newsletter like that, but also just content. Just content is a great asset from a marketing perspective. You want to be putting assets out there into the market to draw you new customers. Oh, but you're saying because they're not one specific niche, what assets can you create? Well, so that goes back to my 5F formula. So if you go back to look at the 5F, okay, let me do this and go to, actually, do I have it set up here as a separate? Yeah. So the 5F snapshot here, okay? So again, if you're selling to a broad range of businesses, you need to be able to communicate in broad frameworks that could apply to any business. Okay. So the bigger the audience and the more diverse the audience that you're speaking to, the more like just fundamental the frameworks have to be that you use to communicate and to deliver your value so that they can be flexible enough to apply to anybody. Okay. So again, as an example, what I would do if I'm just selling to a broad set of businesses, I would get in and I would understand my whole 5F formula, and I would understand the workflows that I've created for you around the 5F formula. Okay. Because you could set this up for any business, and with relatively minor customization, you can deliver incredible value to them. Incredible value. Because most small businesses have no clue about how to structure their marketing. They're not taking any sort of organized approach to what they're doing with their marketing. They're not doing follow-up sequences like this to new leads, right? So you can do worlds of good for them by understanding something fundamental like that 5F set of workflows and putting that in place for them. Okay, so that's an example. The other thing then is just to make sure you keep in mind that HighLevel is an asset for you, right? So you're delivering services by delivering also this set of tools that is doing all of this incredible work on behalf of the business so that they don't have to do things themselves because there's all the automation and stuff. That's an asset for you. So create your white label version of HighLevel and show them, look at these incredible tools that I can put in place on your behalf, right? So you've got all kinds of assets that you can bring to the table. I'm just getting started with Go HighLevel. What is your business structure? Do you sell SaaS or custom marketing services? What NAICS code are you using? I don't even know what an NAICS code is. What is your business structure? Do you sell SaaS or custom marketing services? I sell Heaven Pixel. I sell systems as a service. Okay. I sell systems as a service, which is I sell the SaaS But on top of that, marketing assets such as templates, campaigns, landing pages, workflow automations that have been strategically designed for the customer, and services on top of that in terms of maybe management to help them with that, update it, provide additional concepts, things like that. So that is my model. It's called systems as a service. And probably since you're on YouTube here watching this, best bet is for you to go and look at some of my YouTube videos. There's one out there that's very popular that says, warning, do not sell high-level SaaS. And that explains what I was just saying there in pretty good detail. Newsletter model is a great foot in the door. I think my challenges are 1, don't have time for consistent content. And 2, I see your site gets content from other sites, but not everyone has an RSS feed advice. My advice, Michael, is that you can very easily put together a good newsletter using a tool. Sounds like Perry Belcher's got a tool that I haven't checked out yet. But putting together a good website has become dramatically easier. And the reason why is because with AI, you can curate content and make it into really pretty newsletters very easily and quickly. But I use GoodBits. And so with GoodBits, Michael, and anybody else, you don't have to create any original content if you don't want to. You can put together a very, very valuable newsletter where you're just curating content from other sources. So curation is incredibly valuable. You don't have to create the content yourself. So like on my website, I have a lot of content because I made the decision that I wanted to build the website too. I wanted to build the whole asset. You don't have to do that. You don't have to create the content. If you just go find articles that your audience would like and you just curate those articles in a newsletter, that's a fantastic value proposition. And you could literally get a good newsletter out the door every week in 30 minutes or less. And that's what a lot of these AI newsletter tools are, is they're like really doing all that for you. So you don't, it's like zero effort. So everybody could do a newsletter. I promise you. Okay. See that I have 4 courses with what I got from you as a 297 user, but I don't see 5F as a course. Where do I find this? Ken again. Ken, you should have more than that. So email here, Ken, just so I make sure I don't lose you. And I will get that sorted out. Okay. The 5F is not a standalone course though. It's training within like high leverage agency and stuff like that. So, but let me make sure we get you sorted out in terms of all the resources that you should have. Okay. And give me 1 second, guys. I'm going to be right back. You can hear my voice. Still getting over this cough. So let me just get some more water. I'll be right back. All right, let's see here. Oh, my principal business activity code. I have no idea, actually. I don't know. You bet. David, I see you in the background there. You want to come on? How are you?
Good. How are you doing, Mike?
Good, good. How can I help?
Yeah, I got a couple questions for you. So, yeah, it's been a journey, and I'm getting ready to do my first live event on Monday. And so I have a question regarding that. So my thinking here is that I want to have a limited offer at the end of the event. And, you know, I want it to be like compelling. And some people that I've been like talking to on discovery calls that are kind of on the fence, you know, I told them, join the event. There's going to be an exclusive offer to get in at a good deal. So I'm thinking of like offering, and you can let me know your thoughts on this, but I'm thinking of offering, positioning it like this. So like presenting the total surge with the audit cost as $7,500, knocking that down to one payment of $3,500 or two payments of $1,997, and 3 months free on the system but only limited to 5 people, like the first 5 people of that. And so that when I say that first 3 months, I'm kind of including that surge process as like a free month on the system. And then after that, like the 2 months, and then hopefully get them signed up for longer. And I'm thinking of structuring my like event like that, where at the end of it, have that kind of call to action. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's fine. I think the limit of only the first 5, only do that if you're actually going to like maintain that limit. Otherwise, it's a false scarcity thing that I wouldn't do. I would just make the offer. I would just say, hey, you know, for the next week or whatever it is, like, you know, anybody who's at the event has this offer. If you'd like to go ahead and sign up today, get signed up today. If you have any follow-up questions or anything before you leave here today, book a time on our calendar for the next week, and we'll hop on and answer those questions with you, and then we can get you signed up then.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. And so also, I have another issue that I've been facing. So and I've gotten progressively better on sales calls, obviously, and better at presenting things and presenting the system in a way that seems very valuable and really like a good option for these coaches. And so the thing that happens that I've been dealing with, which is starting to get frustrating, and I know it's because I'm not trying to push too deep on the emotional wounds on the call, things like that, but I'll get people say, this is really good, like I'm really interested, like, okay, give me a few days, whatever, and we'll book in a follow-up, and they cancel the follow-up. Oh, this. And I'm telling you, I probably have had like 10 follow-ups booked in the past 2 months, and all of them have canceled. So it's getting frustrating because it's like, I don't think I have enough nurture process, which I'm kind of getting in place when it comes to that. Like I'm kind of trying to build in my nurture process with HighLevel, like an email newsletter, things like that. I don't have that in place, and it's partially it's because I figured like, okay, I don't have really any people to start sending this out to, but I think, you know, even if it's
you just got to put it in place though. Like, otherwise you're going to have people that don't have a follow-up process. So let me cut right to the chase here, David. This is a sales problem. So if you have 10 people telling you, I'll get back to you tomorrow, and then all 10 of them ghost you, it's a problem with how you're selling. So, and what I mean by that is that they are using that as their easy out, and they probably think, oh, you seem like a real nice guy and a smart guy, and I don't want to be a jerk, and so I'm telling you, oh, let me get back to you. It's kind of like the hot girl saying, hey, let me check my calendar and I'll call you back, right? And then she never calls you back. So it's their way of letting you down without just telling you no. And prospects lie. Lying to salespeople is the only socially acceptable version of lying, right? People don't care if you lie to a salesperson. They think it's right. So have you done any Sandler sales training, or have you read the book You Can't Teach a Kid to Ride a Bicycle at a Seminar?
No, I haven't. When it comes to the sales, I really copied my sales process from like the High Leverage agency sales process. And honestly, it's gotten a lot better in the sense of getting people, in the beginning, I know I struggle with, I get people, I start asking the questions, they get really good clarity on their current state from their business. I get really good clarity on it. But like I don't think I'm pushing on it enough, like, because they sell themselves a story that, oh, this isn't working, but I have this in place, that's, I'm gonna try this and this and this, and then you have to like break their what they think needs to happen. And so as I'm going through my sales process, I've changed a lot of my sales presentation. The first part is like, okay, I leverage some really cool statistics. Like International Coaching Federation has a statistic that 82% of coaching businesses fail in the first 2 years. So I feed that into, okay, this is a huge thing, like they're shocked, whatever. I feed that into, why does this happen? You don't have systems in place. And it goes through, and now when I'm getting people on the phone, like now it's just a simple objections like, oh, pricing. And then I hit them with, okay, this is what we'll do for pricing. And at the end of the day, I think in their head, it's like, this is really great, but it's too complicated and it's too much, right? So I don't know.
So, all right. So one, order the book. Do me a favor and order the book. You can't teach a kid to ride a bike at a seminar.
Okay.
Hop on Amazon and do that. Like, I think it's one of the best things that anybody that's struggling with sales can possibly do.
Right.
So I'm going to pull it up just so everybody can see it here for the benefit of everybody else here. This book right here looks like there's a new version of it. In the original version, this is the original version that I read. This is from David Sandler from Sandler Selling. I think the largest sales training organization in America. It is a phenomenal book on the psychology of selling and the strategies around how to handle stuff like this. Okay. So let me give you some advice though, David. So you are selling a complete system. Okay. Are people really fully aware of that by the time they get on the call with you?
By the end of the call?
No. By the time they start the call.
By the time it started, when it comes to cold, like depends on where I'm getting these leads. If I'm getting them from cold calling, these appointments, if I'm getting them from cold calling, I constantly say, a complete client acquisition system that, covers every single base of client acquisition. Like I keep using the word systems. If they're coming from my,
but this is like the first time that they've really had exposure to what this is.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. So let me just, again, I'm going to cut right to the chase on some of this stuff.
Yeah.
That is rarely going to work, what you're doing. And the reason why is because you are selling a replacement that is big. And so if the first time I'm in a conversation with you, I'm hearing, hey, Mike, replace your marketing systems. Here's my deal. There's almost no freaking way I am going to, oh yeah, I just got on the phone with you. Sure, let's sign up for replacing my marketing systems and spending this money with you. Like it's just too big of a thing to bite off in one sitting. So if you look at the best way, if you look at the best people who sell a little bit of, probably you're thinking it's like a higher ticket offer kind of thing, right? If you look at the best people who sell that, you're pre-sold before you ever get on a call with them.
Yeah.
You've read their book, you've read their content, you've watched their videos on YouTube, all that type of stuff. So by the time you get on a call with them, you know what they're going to pitch you.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to get some details on the call, but you've already sold yourself. I need what this guy has to offer. So you have got to get yourself in that position through marketing. You've got to eat your own dog food, right? You have got to do the marketing that is going to get somebody to you with a knowledge of why am I even in this conversation with this person and what am I expecting? Because it's too big. Okay. The other thing is, and this is sales 101. Okay. So upfront contracts. Do you remember my training upfront contracts?
Yeah. Yes. Yes, I do. I do. Definitely.
Okay. So when I get on the call with you, I should say, hey, David, here's what we're going to cover here today. It's going to take about this long, all that good stuff. Does that sound good? Yeah. Hey, David, look, one of the things that I just want to make sure that you know is that I'm not a typical high pressure salesperson. I need this to be a good fit for you and for me both. So if at any time during this call, if you are sure that it's a no, would you please just tell me so that way we don't waste each other's time?
Yeah.
Yes. I want you to feel real comfortable just telling me no. I'm not going to chase down all crazy and put high pressure tactics on you. Is that okay? And David goes, yeah, sure. Okay, great. And then I say, awesome. Well, look, since we've got that established, at the end of this call, I'm going to ask you if you'd like to move forward or not. Is that okay? Yes. And when I ask you that, you can tell me no if it's not a good fit, or you can tell me yes, and we can talk about how we can get started. Is that fair? Yeah. So now I have used these upfront contracts to give this person the right to not have to lie to me, right? You don't have to feel any pressure about lying to me, man. Like if it's no, just tell me it's no, and tell me it's no as soon as you know it's no, so we don't waste each other's time.
Right.
Little things like that make a huge difference in a sales call because you're bringing down the walls, right? So those two things combined are going to make a huge difference in the success that you're having or not. But by far and away, that first one is the most important thing. If I'm getting on a call and you're trying to sell me complex, right? If you're trying to sell me complexity, it's just not a one call close. I've already had 100 calls with you by reading your book, reading your newsletter, watching your videos. Yes, they weren't live one-on-one calls, but I know what you're about to say to me. I've already heard all your philosophies and strategies. I'm picking up what you're laying down. Just make me my offer, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you for saying that. I really appreciate that, especially with the upfront contracts. Like I kind of brush it, but I brush past. I don't I brush past. I don't put emphasis on that.
Yep. And John makes a really good recommendation. Record your calls and see how you sound. Record your calls and go back through and listen to how you communicate those things and listen to, like you said, you brush past them or do you emphasize them, right? Like
Right.
you'll get so much out of listening to yourself.
Okay. Thank you. I really appreciate that. And one last quick question. Where do you focus your time when it comes to content? Because I'm on LinkedIn trying to, content market to my 500 connections and maybe get 40 impressions a post. I just made my LinkedIn page business page. So my Facebook, I don't do anything on Facebook currently. I had it set up where I was, but I don't. I want to get into YouTube, Instagram. There's all these places. Where should I focus my best efforts to?
No, my opinion for what you're selling is I would probably just do YouTube and LinkedIn. I would just really focus on those. They're incredible content marketing platforms. And YouTube in particular is an incredible asset. Right? I mean, YouTube videos have more asset value than I think pretty much anything out there in digital marketing.
Right.
So I would focus on those. And it sounds like also what you need to do is maybe a little less time on a piece of content and a little more boosting with a little bit of budget. So, make sure and put some ad firepower behind it. So if you spend $10 to boost that piece of content you created, you can probably get 10 times the impressions on it. So don't create a piece of content and then just have it sit in space right? Most platforms today are pay to play. So you got to put a little bit of boost behind it. And that way you can get it out there and you can grow that 500 connections to 5,000 and to 15,000 and right. Because you can get that content out there in front of more people.
And how do you do that on LinkedIn, like personal brand? Because I was looking into it and like I saw, maybe I'm wrong, but I saw that you could only boost like the page posts from like your business pages. So I'm sitting here, I'm like, oh, like how am I supposed to grow this LinkedIn if I can't pay ads to boost content and stuff?
That may be the case. I don't know. It's been a little while since I've gone in there and done ads in LinkedIn. I'd have to check, but I mean, it's an awesome ad platform. So, I mean, you may just have to adjust your strategy to work within what they have to offer. In terms of, maybe you just got to set up that business page and do it that way, but, super, super effective ad platform. So,
yeah, well, you know what? Thank you for taking the time to answer those questions. I'm gonna keep that in mind. I'm definitely gonna keep working on the sales, and then hopefully I get some traction with this event that I have Monday.
Awesome. Yeah. Good luck. Keep us posted.
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Mike.
All right. Take care, man. Let's see here. Satoshi says, you mentioned that you ran a generic email letter for marketers. Do you think that this could work for other niches? Love to hear your thoughts on this. Yes. I mean, newsletters work in everything. I mean, newsletters are like just the most proven, durable, digital marketing asset that's out there. So yes, I absolutely think that you could. All right. All right, gang. 2 hours. We got to run. Happy Friday to you. Thank you for joining me at office hours. I hope that this was valuable for you. I appreciate your time and attention in your business as always and being part of my community. And we have office hours generally every Friday. So make sure and get on the calendar and join me for those whenever I can give you a hand. And let's see here. I know with the holidays coming up, there will be some, calendar switcheroos and all that stuff. So just kind of pay attention to that. It won't necessarily always be on Friday at the same time. Okay. So yes, thank you. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for being here. And we will see you on our next office hours call. Okay. Awesome. Thank you. I'm feeling much better already, Michael. Today is like much better than it has been. So I'm on the mend. Thank you very much. Awesome. Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate it. Take care, everybody. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.